Hey scholars, welcome back to another video of Map of English. And if you're new, hi, welcome to another video by Map of English. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at something that I feel that is really important when you're writing essays, especially. We are going to be looking at how to write an introduction. Okay, but first things first, before we begin, okay, as some of you may know, recently there is an anime that is already on screen already. I think their first and second episodes, but I've already finished reading the series already online. And if you can guess which anime character is it based on the color theme of my slides and even which anime name, leave a comment in the comment section below. I want to see whether anyone can guess which character is this. She is actually one of my favorite characters of the series, but then to be honest, when I first looked at her, I thought that her hair color looked really weird, but in the end I love it. Okay, green and pink go so well together. Alright, without further ado, let us dive into the topic that we are going to be looking at today. Like I said earlier, we are going to be looking at how to write essay introductions, and this video is useful for people who, are writing essays, meaning Form 1 to Form 5 students, IGCSE students, UEC students, MUET students, or even adults learning to write English. Okay, but short promotion, if you do not know, how can you not, but oh well. If you do not know, I actually offer offline essay classes, okay, to students of Form 1 to Form 5, as well as UEC, IGCSE, and adults. Okay, just essay class. And this kind of classes, we do not even need to attend class, right? How convenient. Basically, I just give you the title of the essays. You have to finish writing. Okay, there will be like one practice per week, depending on which form. If you are like Form 1 to Form 3, there will be 8 essays. If you're in SPM, there will be 3 sets of your essays. Okay, if you're in the adults class, you have 4 essays for the month to write, meaning I'm giving you essays on a weekly basis. And if you're interested to know more about the class, you can go onto the link in the description, go onto my Telegram and private message me. Okay, my private message is linked in my Telegram's channel, okay, in the description. So yeah, it's very cheap. Okay, and let me see, what else can I promote about this class? Oh my god. Okay, so after you finish writing the essay, obviously you submit to me, I'll mark it, and by the end of the month I would also send you sample essays, okay, that I have written personally. Okay, the titles are also from me and all those things, and I will of course also give you personal feedback and constructive criticism on things that you can improve on in your essay. Alright, so let us continue with today's topic, how to write an introduction. If I remember correctly, I listed 7 ways where you can write your introduction. The first one being news or statistics. Okay, and also just to take note that I will be using the same title for this entire explanation, which is should students be allowed to bring handphones to school? Okay, I actually have not done a video on explaining the types of essays, but just FYI, this is an opinion essay. It's either you agree or you disagree with this title. Okay, and here we are going to be disagreeing because personally I disagree that students should be allowed to bring handphones to school. Okay, but then if the students are really disciplined, I'm okay with it. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at the news section, okay, the paragraph. I'm certain that thanks to the news platform on social media or the occasional viral videos that circulates the internet, we are no strangers to the knowledge that some youngsters are addicted to their phones. Not too long ago, there was even a teenager who tried to attack his father with a weapon when his father took away his phone in order to try to get him to study. How horrifying is that? So you can see the words, the sentence that I highlighted in blue is the news. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to elaborate on, you want to start off your introduction with the news, or you want to have like a little bit of elaboration first. But we are using like a news method to write our introduction is fine. Okay, how horrifying is that? We can, add a tiny little bit of our emotion. Okay, statistics. Okay, to be honest, I am not a big fan of statistics because I feel like if you are going for an exam, you do not know what topic is going to come up, right? So how are you going to memorize the statistics? So this is actually not my preferable way to write or to start my introduction with. Okay, but I will still teach you how to do it. Okay, basically you need to go and find a statistics that is not too long ago. It cannot be 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 50 years ago, unless you are doing a comparison of the amount of people who agreed to this in the olden days and the amount of people who agreed with this in the current days. Okay, do a comparison, then that will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to read it now. According to a survey conducted by Common Sense Media Reports back in 2016, it was found that 50% of teens feel addicted to mobile phones, and 59% parents of the survey believe that their children are addicted to their devices. Okay, statistics, if you do not know, is basically like the percentage thing. How many people agree with this, disagree with this, are doing that. Okay, again, this is not my preferable method because I feel like as a student, you already need to memorize your history, your science, and your mathematics subjects. So for language, just chill, okay, and don't do statistics if you can help it, unless you really love statistics. If that, by all means, go ahead. Okay, for news, I feel like with today's social media platforms, it is still possible for you kids to write news because when you go on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever platform, or TikTok even, right, news platforms are already sharing their news on these social media platforms. So it's actually really easy for you to come across news. Okay, sometimes it can be videos, but it's okay as long as if they don't have a title, right? But it's okay as long as you know how to describe the video, the content is fine already. Okay, you don't need to memorize the title word by word. Oh my god. Okay, the second method that we are going to be looking at is actually quotes. Some people are firm believers of the quote, "Home is where the heart is, but today the phone is where the heart is." This is most likely because of the numerous individuals who cannot leave their phones for more than 5 minutes. Self-control and habits are things that must be fostered and instilled at a young age, which is why students should not be allowed to bring handphones to school if the handphones are just going to serve as a distraction instead of a learning tool. Okay, as you can see, the words that are highlighted in blue is the quote, the quotation. Okay, again, this is not my favorite method to start an essay with because I feel like it's gonna be memorizing again. It's a memorization issue again. It's not that I cannot remember because I feel like, again, you do not know what topic is gonna come out in the exam. So do you know how many quotations are there in this world? We do not want to spend so much time memorizing things, okay, when we can elaborate and we can rely on our elaboration and our reasoning and our way of thinking how this thing is. I feel like the second way, the one that I just mentioned, where we can rely on our own methods of elaboration, is much more better, okay? But let's say for quotations, you need to put like a double quotation mark, which is the punctuation there. Okay, if you are using quotation, and you have to quote word by word, 100%, you cannot miss out on a word. Okay, and sometimes I've seen some students that are very extreme, they will even also go and remember who said this quote. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I just feel like, wow, fantastic, Okay, moving on to the third method, you can share some facts, okay, some normal facts or even shocking facts. I think shocking facts would be better because you think about it, if let's say we always say our introduction is one of the more important parts of the essay, right? We take a movie for an example, okay? If the opening scene, if the beginning of the movie is not very interesting to you, would you continue to watch that movie? No, right? So same goes for your writing. If your introduction is not fantastic or attracting readers to read it, readers are most likely going to stop after finishing the first paragraph or even the first 2 sentences. Okay, so let's take a look at what shocking things that I'm referring to, the one that you can see that's highlighted in blue. Oh, that rhymed. Okay, while many may agree that being on the phone hours before bedtime seems like a luxurious and preferable way to spend time alone before ending the day, it is not. Did you know that in one's lifetime, an individual typically spends about 5 years and 4 months on their phones, and that on average, smartphone users unlock their phones 150 times a day? Phone addiction is growing to become a dire issue, especially among teens, which is why students should not be allowed to bring handphones to school. Because you must remember one thing, yeah, our title, this essay is an opinion essay. So in the first paragraph itself, or the first sentence of the second paragraph, you must make your stand, okay, whether you agree or disagree with the title. You cannot be vague, okay, you cannot not show your standpoint, okay, that would be wrong. That would be our topic already, okay. They want you to choose, okay. So these are facts, okay. Students using an individual using about 5 years and 4 months on their phones and opening and unlocking their phones for 150 times a day, okay. These are facts, okay, from statistics. Yeah, facts and statistics can be very similar, okay, but statistics, it has numbers. Facts do not have numbers, okay. Alright, the fourth method, observation. This is my favorite method of writing an introduction of an essay, okay, because I do not like memorizing stuff. And again, if you can write observation for one thing, you can write it for everything. Because when you go out on the streets, you go to school, you go to work or whatever, you will look around and observe what is going on, right? You can't be just going straight to your destination without actually looking at anything, right? So let's take a look at how I wrote my observation. May it be in public or private places, we can always spot people being immersed in the tiny devices that are resting in the palms of their hands. You see, here I'm saying that I can always see people, they are fully concentrated playing on their phones, and their phones are, they are holding their phones. That's why I say the phones are resting, although the phone is not alive, More often than not, these people are completely observed to the virtual world and its content to pay attention to the happenings of the real world. So we can say that in oftentimes, people who are addicted to their phones or pay attention to their phones, they only care about what goes on their phones instead of what is going on in their surroundings, okay, which can be very dangerous, especially when they are crossing the roads or had to board the train and things like that. So we say that we continue our paragraph by saying, like asking a question: if an adult has barely any self-control using handphones, would teenagers be any different from them? So we are asking a question, and usually when we ask a question, we must answer. Okay, it's also one of the methods that we can use to start our introduction with, which I will show you later. To avoid teenagers from becoming addicted or dependent on their phones, allowing teenagers to bring phones to school should be out of the question. Okay, it means that it should not even be considered in the first place that teenagers should be allowed to use phones or even bring phones to school. You see, observation is very easy. Just observe what's going on around you and you just start your essay based on that. Okay, I'm sure that, this personally is my number one favorite. I feel like y'all can use this. Okay, method 5, the definition, which is basically like the meaning or what is this particular thing. Okay, so the title, should students be allowed to bring handphones to school? So what is the thing here that we have to elaborate or explain what it is? We all know what students are, and most likely we all know what handphones are. Okay, so the theme here is handphones, so obviously you talk about the handphones. Okay, the students are people, so you don't need to elaborate or give definition on that. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? A phone's function at the beginning stages when it was invented was to allow people to stay in touch with each other. But in today's times, a handphone is utilized for various purposes, such as communicating with family, friends, co-workers and strangers, functioning as an alarm clock, music player, calculator, and entertainment when users download games to play with. You see, we talk about what is a phone and what do we use it for. Okay, no doubt that the invention of phones has changed the game and made most of our No doubt that the invention of phones has changed the game and made most of our lives a lot better than it was. However, despite this knowledge, many still do not think students should be allowed to bring handphones to school, and I am one of these people. Again, a lot of people think versus what you think is very different, which is why you should also emphasize which side you are on. Okay? So yeah, that's it about the definition of what it is. We just explain the thing based on how we understand this thing works or what this thing is. Okay, so it's very easy. You just, when we want to say what is this thing, we explain it by how do we use this thing. Okay, not giving a definition like, oh, a phone is a device that is made out of metal and SIM card. You don't need to do that. Okay, just talk about the function. Okay, what do you use it for? If someone asks what is a school, you say a school is a place where students, usually children around the ages 7 to 17, go to study. You see, we talk about the function of the place or the thing. Okay. Alright, the sixth method, which is the background information or the history of this thing. So, like all things, handphones has a history. Handphones have a history. Okay, when it was first invented, how was it? Back in the olden days versus now, is there any different? Okay, so let's take a look at the paragraph. Back when phones were first invented, they were as heavy as a brick as they were the same size as one. So here I'm saying that they are the same size as a brick. Okay, they are as heavy as a brick. As time passes, along with the advancement of technology, they have now evolved into plenty of sizes that could easily fit into our bags and pockets. This makes them much more portable and easier to both carry and use. As convenient as they are now, do they bring more pros than cons if students are allowed to bring their phones to school? The answer would be a definite no. Okay, we gave a background information, a history. What were phones like when they were first invented and what they are like now. Okay, of course, if you know more, you can elaborate more. No problem, but you must take a look at your time. Okay, when you're writing your essay, especially for SPM students, because like you guys have like an hour and a half to write 3 essays, and that's really not much time, Okay, the seventh method, asking questions. But when you ask questions, you have to answer them later on. As you can see, we start off our essay, our paragraph, by asking questions. Okay, but it is not compulsory for you to ask more than one question. Okay, if you want to just ask one question, it's fine. No worries, no problem. Okay, but you must remember to answer them or it. What happens if students are allowed to bring phones onto school grounds? Would they turn out to be disciplined learners most educators wish, who would only use their devices with permission? Or would they misuse the opportunity and be on their phones during lessons? Or would they misuse the opportunity and be on their phones during lessons? Personally, I think the chances of the latter option happening is a lot higher, which is why I'm on the spectrum that students shouldn't be allowed to bring their phones to school. Okay, so let me explain a few things here. So we can see that we ask questions, okay, and then we answered by saying that I think the chances of the latter option, latter means the second option, because you can see my previous sentence I said, would they misuse the opportunity and be on their phones? Or the first option was, would they be disciplined and not use their phones? So my second option was, I said that I agree with the latter option, means I agree that, or I think that the students will have a higher chance to be on their phones during lesson. Okay, I think the chances is a lot higher. Okay, which is why I'm on the spectrum that the students shouldn't be allowed to bring their phones to school. You see, I answered at the same time I'm answering the question that I ask, and I am also telling the readers which side I am standing on. Okay, we have come to the end of the video. Okay, I hope that what I've been saying and teaching you guys has been really helpful. Okay, and maybe clear your doubts about how to write an introduction of your essay. Okay, for 1 to Form 5 students, you remember your essays have a word count, so please remember not to dwell too much on your introduction. Okay, instead focus more on the content. Alright, and then if this video has helped you in any way, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notifications as well for future uploads. You will be notified immediately. Okay, and then you can come and learn. I'll be uploading videos every week. Okay, but before we dismiss, before this video ends, can you leave a comment in the comment section. Maybe write about which methods, okay, that I just listed out that you think you would be using in your essay's introduction in the future later on. Maybe you can write about which one is your favorite method, which method do you think is easier, okay, and which is your least favorite method, okay? Alright, and then that'll be all for today. I'll see you guys in the next video, scholars. Bye bye!